Hello, this is Lino Tadros, and in this video I'll show you how to use the list widget inside of Sitefinity. So let's go ahead and get started. So here we are in the dashboard. I'm going to click on content, and if you go down, you notice there is a new module right here in the type of contents called lists. I'm going to click on that, and you'll notice I don't have any list. You can create as many lists as you want, of course, in Sitefinity. I'm going to create one here. And let's call it, for instance, FAQ, which stands for frequently asked questions. Maybe it's something you want to put on your website to answer some questions that are repeated, for instance, for your company. So we'll say FAQ, for instance. I can list the URL, will be /FAQ to get to it. We can actually put additional URLs in case this is coming from a previous website before even Sitefinity in your company, so that people do not get a 404. They will still reroute to your FAQ. Let's go ahead and create one. We'll say create that. And from that point on, I can actually start creating different items, and it will be pretty much, think of it as a pair, like a question and an answer, something of that similarity, like a couple, like a key and a value. Think of it this way. So I'm going to create a list item right there, and maybe we'll say, why did the chicken cross the street? Alrighty. And then you will actually put your answer in here, and I'm going to cheat here from my Lorem Ipsum free plugin to Chrome. Let me go ahead and get, for instance, let's say I'm going to get only one paragraph of, let's say, 5 sentences or something like that. Easy enough. And we'll copy that mumbo jumbo text, and I'll put it right here. This is just a filler, doesn't mean anything. It's just so we can have something. You can also categorize a specific question and answer. Put it in a specific category or a specific tag, so that you can actually run your taxonomies on that in Sitefinity later on. For right now, we'll leave it empty and we'll say publish. And from that point on, I can actually, let's say, duplicate this, so I can have a couple. So we can go to the ellipsis button, we'll say duplicate. And instead of having this question, now we're at a brand new record. We'll say, for instance, what is the meaning of life? All right, and then in here we'll have the same mumbo jumbo stuff, and we'll say publish, and you can keep going like this. Hopefully you can form a pretty good amount of questions and answers for your company on the website, so people can actually have self-service to understand what's happening with some of these repeated questions. Sounds good? So right now I have 2. Hopefully you'll have at least a dozen for your website. And now when I go to a page, for instance, let's open up the home page, for instance. I can display that FAQ anywhere on my site. So right now I'm using something that have 3 different containers. Let's take a look at the content if there is one of these for lists, and there it is in the middle. It's called the list widget. If I grab this, let's put it in the middle here, for instance. It will ask you which one, because you can have a lot of different lists. I only created one called the FAQ. Let's point to that, and we'll select which list to display. I'm going to say FAQ right there. And then filter items. Maybe you have so many questions. Maybe you want only the ones that have specific category or a specific tag. Or maybe you want to see all the FAQs from the last 6 months that have been published. So I can say change, and I can come to the last 6 months in here, and we'll do it this way. So it's definitely the same kind of features you have for news and blogs and events. You can do that with lists as well. For right now, we'll just keep it, we want to have everything, because we only have 2 lists in the FAQ. How would you like to sort them? It could be manually, and that means based on the order you have in the back end. So the first one will be what's the meaning of life, because it's the last one that was entered, and the second one will be why did the chicken cross the road. Okay, you can also do it by last published at the beginning, sorted by last published, last modified, or you can do it by title, ascending or descending. The default for list is set as manually how you did it in the back end as well. You can also have an advanced mode, which will require a regular expression, to maybe have a specific regular expression code to explain how you're going to sort everything inside of there. The templates for the list and for the detail, there is only one in here called simple list that actually is the default, but notice in Sitefinity for the MVC, there are 5 different templates for the list. It could be anchor list, expandable list, expanded list, pages list, simple list. So the default will start with the simple list to show you that. And for the detailed value, there is only one template. But again, remember that you can go ahead back to your resource packages, for Bootstrap 5, and also you can do it in the MVC folder if you want, or even in the database. You can create more templates on the list level or on the single item detail level as well. If I go ahead and say save, notice here it will have the name of the list, which is the FAQ, and then it will have both of them right next to each other in here. If I would like to go ahead and publish this page and see how it will look when I run it, and this, like I said, it's a simple list. So if I go and view the page one more time, let's go and click on view right there. Notice there is no clicking, there is only questions in here. So this might not be the best way of displaying this, but that is the default, a simple list as well. So let's go back to the page, and I'm going to change it to something a little bit more meaningful to show you how you can see the questions and the answers as well. I'm going to change this edit. And for the list system, maybe we'll start with the anchor list. Let's see what that will look like. So now notice in here we'll say the FAQ, the name of the list, the questions, and I can click on the questions and it will jump to the answer. The answer will be right underneath it. Let me go ahead and publish this so you can show you how this will work actually for the front end for your customers. So I'm going to go back again and we'll say view. And this is what people are going to show. So I can click on the chicken crust link. And remember, this is called the anchor. It means when I click on it, it will just go down to what it is. You will not see much because they're all on the same page. But if it was a very long list, if I click on one of those, it will jump directly and will move the page, scroll it down to be able to get to that anchor right away to show it to you. Does that make sense? All right, let's go ahead and see a couple more. The one I usually use in real life would be the expanded one. So let me show you what these will look like. Let's say expandable list, we'll say save. So this is I like, you see it has the arrow so that I can start with the questions, and if I want to read the answer, I can click on it or click on the arrow and it will expand it so I can see the answer. I can collapse it later on. So that's usually the way people like to use FAQs or any kind of questions and answer on the site. So let's go ahead and run it one more time so you can see the difference for that as well. We'll say view. And now you can see if I want to see why the chicken crossed the street, you can click on it, see the answer, you can collapse it again. So all that JavaScript is already built into that specific CS HTML view for that. And a lot of people look at that. And if you like to expand all of them, just click on expand all and it will open all of them all at once. It doesn't have to be one by one. Sounds good. Let me close these guys and I'm going to go back. We have a couple more I wanted to show you. We'll open up the page. We'll change this one to be expanded list. There we go. We'll say save this. And there it is. It's going to be always expanded. So this is something also a lot of people do not want their customers to be clicking all over the place, so they can just have an FAQ. And this is good whenever you have maybe like 10 or 20 maximum. But if you have hundreds of those, I don't recommend that. Maybe one made them expandable so that you can get the most amount of questions on one screen as possible so people don't miss anything. So you can do that. There is no clicking or anything. Everything is expanded automatically. Let's go ahead back in here and a pages list. Let's see pages and we'll say save. And this is the one, like for instance, the single item for news and blogs works. And you get the page, and when you click on one of them, it will load the single item on the page itself. Let me show you what that means. If that is something that you prefer, great. And again, a lot of people, like I said, like the expandable one because just it's a nice feature with the JavaScript. It opens and closing like an accordion kind of thing. But again, it's up to you which one you like. I'm going to show you that as the last one. And we'll go ahead and say view this page. And this is what people will see if it's a page. That means notice here with a /home. If I click on the first one, it will append the /home with the list FAQ and the GUID for the specific one. So you'll see only one single item. If I go backwards in here, I can click on the second one. Remember, we are still on the home page. This is all just to be able to not to show a question mark with a query string, which Google Analytics don't like very much. It will give you a lower ranking. So even though there is no such thing as a folder called list or FAQ, it just fakes it so that it will look like a unique URL, but we are on the same page for home anyway. All right, hopefully that makes sense and it was useful to see how to use lists and how to create them and how to display them on a page. And hopefully we'll see you again soon on another video on Lino TV. Thank you so much.